Hello, wild world, and welcome to this episode of A Wild Tomorrow, the podcast. Today I'm joined with you by my new pup, Augie. It's an 8-year-old man we adopted 2 weeks ago. Say hi to everyone, Augie. Augie very much likes to be with me 24/7, but he's going to be with us during this intro. So if you hear some clicking in the background, that is Augie, Augiferd. Today, I have a very special guest with us. His name is Mike Frush, and he is a rapper out of Ohio. Mike started in the band Fear the Concept, and after a few years, when he moved up to Ohio, he started his own rap group called his name, Mike Frush. Now, Mike has made some incredible music and even better music videos, and I'm really excited to talk to him today about that whole process and what it's like to be a rapper in the industry in general, and today during COVID. Mike created most recently an album called Curtains, or a song rather called Curtains, and then the album Iridescent that came out I think a year ago. He also has some singles on his YouTube channel that he's made, and he's just an all-around great and interesting guy. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Mike Frush.
Drippin' sauce, throwback on my toes, rockin' retro dance dog. Yeah, count up everything but loss.
Without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you, Wild World, Mike Frush. Hey, Mike, how you doing today, man?
Good, bro. How you doing?
Good, dude. I already told everyone about you a little bit in the intro, but do you want to just say a few words right now about what it is you do and what your mission is, what your passion is, man?
Yeah, man. So my name is Mike Frush, as Dylan just said. I'm 24 years old. I live in Youngstown, Ohio. I make hip hop music. I just really enjoy making music in general. It's my one true passion. Love it. Nothing makes me happier. It's a good time.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, and I can't lie. I have been stalking your pages and your music and your history for the past few days. So I might bring up some things that are left field for you. But so
I'm ready
for you though, just to break the ice a bit, is if you could collab with any artist, why would it be Lana Del Rey?
Man, I don't know. Is my girlfriend gonna watch this with me? Probably. No, just she's got the voice of an angel, honestly, and yeah. I think it'd be an honor for anybody to work with her. So for me to get that honor would be insane. It'd be like next level type shit.
Yeah, and honestly, I hadn't really listened to too much of her, other than like some of the hits that came out back when I was in like senior year of high school back in 2013. But I went after like looking through your thing. I was like, why don't I check her out a bit? And I saw she posted a lyric video not a lyric video. Yeah, it was a lyric video with a poem she wrote. And it was just like her.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, I don't know what it was called. I wish I did right now so I could reference for everyone, but it was so good. And I was like, what? I'll just listen to this woman read poetry. I don't even got to hear her sing.
Man, yeah, she actually just put out a poetry book, I'm pretty sure. I want to check that out.
Really? Okay, nice. Yeah, I'll definitely have to check that out.
For sure.
But, yeah. So on a more serious note then, getting into your music, who are some of your, I guess, inspiration? Who do you listen to that you really appreciate, that you try to find your sound in, if that makes sense? Or
right. I think personally for me, a lot of I put Travis Scott on a big pedestal. I just think his people hate using the word cinematic, or people use the word cinematic, but that's what I think of when I listen to Travis Scott's music. It's like bigger than music, you know what I mean? It's like a whole experience almost. The Weeknd, for the same reason, it feels like a movie listening to it. Weeknd's great. People are usually either with or against the guy, but Kanye West for sure. Yeah. I don't know. I think Graduation is one of the best hip hop albums ever to drop. So
yeah, no, definitely the old Kanye. But no, dude, I never thought about that before, the cinematic aspect. And I will say that's something that when now that you say that word, looking back at your music videos, I get that vibe with the music. Like watching it, it's like you're having this experience while you're watching it.
Right. I try to make it as like immersive as possible. You know what I mean? Big picture type deal.
Yeah, and so I guess the first thing popped in my head with that is Drippin' Sauce, which is on your most recent EP album that came out, which is Iridescent. So first, let's talk
Yep.
about Drip and
Yes, sir.
Sauce, your inspiration for that, and then we'll dive into the album as a whole, and what that whole process was like.
Drip and Sauce. I don't even know if we had the song recorded yet before we started talking about the video, but it was at my friend and niece's house. We were sitting on his back porch at night, just kicking around different funny ideas for this video where this crazy guy just goes around throwing pink sauce on everybody.
Yeah.
And, with the music video, it's a lot of like coordination. So there's a lot of people involved. You gotta get the props together, get the locations, get the actors, obviously your crew. And it's honestly really cool seeing everybody work together like that. Like just even watching it, not even being involved. It's a really sweet process.
Yeah, hell yeah. And what was that like, I guess? Because I think a lot of people, if their main vein is making the music and performing the music, when it comes to videography, you know what I mean, and cinematography and figuring out how that all works, that can be a hurdle. So did you have help?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you do a lot of Googling or?
Oh, I leave most of that to the professionals. I try to stick in my lane. So my good buddy Andy, Andy Oceans, he does videography, and he did a video for us back in the band days. No, we ain't really brought that up or nothing like that, but so I've worked with him forever. He's been getting really, really good at it. Just got back from Florida actually, like 2 weeks ago, filming another one with him. So we've been going strong for years. He does great work.
Oh yeah. That's exciting, man. Another one's coming out. I will say, dude,
for sure.
Sorry, I don't mean to go ahead.
Oh, you're good.
Just dude, the quality of them, and like they're just so good. Like I cannot share them enough. I hope everybody sees them, you know?
Thank you.
Man, so what made you choose?
That's all him. That's all Andy.
Yeah. And you were saying too that the idea for Drip and Sauce came when you were just hanging out with some friends. So how do you have a creative community, and how does that play into your artistic expression?
What do you mean by creative community? Can you define that like for me?
Yeah, so
like what you mean
a lot of people might have trouble because they're working alone, if that makes sense. Like some people are just notebook in their bedroom kind of people, or they go to the park and jot it down with the guitar or whatever they're doing. Do you have a group of people that you can like bounce ideas off of, and you're all working toward these different goals?
I would say definitely yes, for sure. Because I personally I love being creative. Like so when it comes to the videos, the music, everything, I love doing as much myself as I can. It's really fun for me. But as far as my music goes, my producer Billy, he does music too. Shout out to Starletta. He
nice.
Anytime I need an opinion on some music or something, I'll come to him for something like that.
Yeah.
With the most recent video I did, I had the bare bone, but my dude Andy the wheel on that, on how we were going to get that across. So if it's something I feel like I can't tackle, then I'll definitely leave it to the professionals. You know what I mean? These people do these things for years, so I just let them use their experience.
No, dude, 100%. That's dope too, because you're all working together. You know what I mean? Like you're all trying to work toward that goal. So collaborating is such a cool process to have that end thing inside.
Doing it all alone is probably impossible, honestly.
Yeah, with anything, and I think that's something that people at home need to hear. Like, don't try to do it alone. All right, man.
Get a good team around you. It doesn't have to be a lot of people, but definitely keep the people around there for you and they help you out.
Yep. Hell yeah, man. So I guess hopping into the total view of Iridescent now, why'd you name it Iridescent of all the words you could choose?
It's funny. My cousin's friend was over one day and we were talking. I don't even remember exactly what we were talking about, but I was like, oh, it'd be cool for the album if I had, like the oily looking, different color type thing. And my cousin's friend was like, you mean iridescent? What are you talking about? I never heard that word before in my life. So I immediately I Googled it. I'm laying on the couch. I Googled it. And I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about. Yeah. And from there, like, I don't know. I read the definition. It's I don't know. It just seemed to fit. It seemed to fit because the album itself, or the EP rather, it's kind of all over the place. Like it's not, no two songs are the same. You know what I mean? So I just thought, I was like, oh, I kind of like that. You know what I mean? It kind of gets the point across of what you're getting into when you listen to that EP.
Yeah. No, 100%. I think, now a theme I've seen twice in your work is you actively pulling from the world around you. I guess being aware of what's going on around you to continue creating whatever you were creating at the time, you know? So like the album cover, and then now the Drippin' Sauce. Like both of those came from you just
Oh,
having
yeah.
a conversation with people. You know, that's super dope.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anytime there's any good idea from anyone, whether we're kicking it, whether we're thinking of ideas, whatever, we write it down. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah.
even if it's not something in the moment too big, you can always come back to that and be like, oh, that was a good idea. Why not try
Hell
it out?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you said write it down. So is that me assuming you have a journal or?
Not a journal, but my notes in my iPhone are quite extensive. Like
Yeah.
like thousands probably. Like
How
I got
do you
notes with
keep
like
track?
any little thought I think like, oh, write it down. I'll go type like one word, 2 words, and then I'll go back, look through my notes 2 months later and be like, what the hell was I talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess that kind of brings us to though like the actual choreographing of a song. So what does that process look like for you? Like are you someone who like just you wake up from a dream and you're like, damn, I have the riff or like I have the beat, or do you have the words down first and then you're throwing a beat on top? Like what does it feel like?
So I spend a lot of time on YouTube listening to beats. Like that's honestly how I spend most of my time.
Yeah.
Just I'll listen to so many beats, and then just whenever I find one that I kind of vibe with, I'll put it to my watch later playlist,
Yeah.
And I'll go back whenever I'm feeling creative, because I'll get in like a random burst of like creativity, and
Yeah.
whenever sometimes in the middle of the night, you know what I mean. But I try to hone in on that whenever I get it, because it's not all the time, and I'll just go
Yeah.
back and listen to those, and whichever one stands out the most at the time, maybe I'll think of a catchy one-liner, and then I can base the whole song off of that. But it's really just timing, honestly. If I hear the beat and something comes to me, then it could be a whole song by the end of the night. You know what I mean? But it could be 2 lines every day for 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. I'm kind of the same way. That's something in like my like creative writing classes in college they always said is you got to get out of the habit of being a like spontaneous what's the word? Like when you get that
Like a creative rush.
the creative rush kind of thing, because that's all me. Like literally but what I was gonna say is it's cool how you found a way because you understand the way that your creative rush comes,
Right.
So like you make sure to have your hobby of listening to beats, right? Because
Right.
that might give you the spark you need, and then you ride the spark.
Yeah, exactly. It's a number of things too. My mood. Say I listen to say I'm feeling down or something, and I listen to a sad beat. That could help make me feel better. You know what I mean? Just write it all out in a song real quick.
Yeah. So how many songs do you have that aren't recorded? Thousands?
Really? How many?
Like that aren't recorded
or that aren't released? Probably 60.
I'm probably almost
60. Oh shit.
Yeah, probably like 60. I mean, probably 56 of those will still never see the light of day, but some of them I might polish up and finish. That's how art goes. You make it and then you hate it.
Yeah, no, 100%. So I mean, from that, I'm going to assume you might be a little bit of perfectionist with your art, which I am too. It's got to be perfect, right, before it comes out.
Sure. You don't know the half of it, man. There's like I nitpick little shit for like the longest time. Like I will not put something out if I think one part of it is imperfect.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying my music is perfect, but to my ear,
it's got to be on. It's got to be there. Yeah.
That's something like you're always gonna notice. You know what I mean?
So I guess then, for Iridescent, what was it like combining and choosing, I guess, those songs to go into that album?
Man, if I'm being cold and honest, it was the songs I could finish. I have, like I said, being a perfectionist, I have a really hard time finishing songs. Like you can ask anyone here. I'll write a nice hook and a verse, not ever do the second verse, and then that song never comes out. So it was really about the ones that I finished but each one of them has their own personal flares to me that I really enjoyed. Because there was a few other ones I could have put on there, but I wanted to keep it as like condensed as possible, so it's less to market.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's easier to keep people's attention for, say, if you do a single, it's easiest to keep people's attention for one song versus an EP for 5 songs versus an album for 12.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, so I wanted to keep it short and sweet, give people a little sample of what I have to offer, and I was also still kind of finding my own sound in a way. I think I'm kind of settling into it a little bit these days. But I still try to keep it diverse, you know what I mean? Because I don't like no one likes listening to the same thing all the time. So I don't like creating the same thing all the time,
Yeah, flex your creative muscles. I get it. I see it.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Damn, man. See, that's so wild. Just the whole process. I guess let's go into branding then. Like, so you said you're finding your style and all that kind of stuff. So what's been your branding journey?
Branding is really hard. Like it's something
Yeah.
that I myself, branding, marketing, that whole thing is something that I'm still trying to dab myself into. It's I don't know. The first thing people think, trying to think of how I want to put it. When people go to your Instagram, they're going to judge you immediately by how you look, how you present yourself.
Yeah.
So that's something that's super important. I've never stuck to a specific, style whatsoever. You know what I mean? I'm just me, but content is really important. Like,
Yeah.
and that's something I'm just getting into. Is you got to have constant content, or else people will forget about you, which
Yeah.
really sucks. You want to have nice professional photos. You want to have everything looking clean, because if not, you're just doing a disservice to yourself. You know what I mean? You work so
Yeah.
hard making your music, making your art.
Well, I think personally, like, I don't know if you've had someone tell you yet, but you're doing a great job.
Thank
Like,
you, man. I
honestly,
appreciate it.
I think right now, especially because we can't have a lot of in-person shows, like COVID's kind of ruined
Yeah, man,
everything
that sucks.
in terms of the
That
music
sucks,
industry.
yeah.
But I feel like you do a really good job at content marketing online.
Thank you, man. Thank
That
you.
makes sense. Your product, and then just everything you post. I even saw too. What did you do? A cover, or you did your own freestyle over Lil Nas X Panini? Is that what it was?
Oh, Panini, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to know a fun fact? I don't know if it's true these days or not, but up until a couple months ago, that had more views than Drippin' Sauce, because I didn't market it right.
Really? Yeah.
So yeah, so just because it had the name Panini on it and Lil Nas X, it got more views than my music video that I put time and money into. But it was only my fault. You know what I mean? There's a right and there's a wrong way to put things out, and
Yeah.
I was still and still am. Yeah, trying to figure that out.
It's all those Google ad clicks. It's really what it is.
Man,
whatever
seriously,
those AdWords are. Wow.
Man, it's tough.
So speaking of Panini, I mean, I personally would love to see Mike Frush doing some sort of country rap on a horse. After seeing the past two videos, dude, I think that like
Hey man, if you want some exclusive content, I got a little country rap song that will never see the light of day. You can put a clip up if you want.
No shit. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
My goal was like a Ford commercial in the Super Bowl, but I never got around to that one.
Yeah, dude. I mean, in time though, I feel like that's the thing. You got the brand, like you got the flow, like everything's there. It's just whenever it comes to fruition, dude. That's wild.
Right. For sure. The way I always think about it is it's a matter of when, not if.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've never been too worried about things working out, just a matter of when.
Yeah, and that's the thing too with anything is like it's we tend to want things now. You know what I mean? Which is like it's good because it's productivity. It gets you to the table to start working, but it also screws you over because you're not putting, I guess, that love that your mom puts into the food she makes for dinner. You know what I mean? Like you got to make it with love. You can't just make it with stress. All in time.
So like the way I like to look, for sure, the way I like to look at it is like, so people like instant gratification. Obviously, that's the best when you're doing. So what I like to do is I'm a big list guy, so I'll make a list, and I love just little goals, and you do little things that you can get you to the ultimate goal. But it's satisfying when you do the first thing. Like say for example, with the music video, hit up this location and secure this. That might be the only thing I do all day, but if I did that, I feel productive, and that brings me to want to do the next thing. You know what I mean? Then by the end of it, you've knocked them off the list, and it's time for you to get your grand product, and it's a good feeling.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, it's kind of the whole thing. You make your bed in the morning, which I'm not good at, but you make your bed in the morning. It's like the first accomplished thing. You want to accomplish more shit as you go.
Right, absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I think this is a good time as any for us to hop into a break, take a quick little sesh here, and then maybe we can throw that country run in right here. Everyone stay tuned for your
All right,
behind the scenes look at Mike Frush. There we go.
Top of the mountain, I'm the king of the hill. My queen of Mississippi, girl, I call her Faith True. Loyal to the stash, she don't snack on the pills. Married to my Clyde, she a ride, she a kill. 400 horses, she a ride one. Beg me, let her drive one. She a wild, wild, wild one. Looky, what have I done? Now I gotta buy one. I don't wanna die, no. a sick dude. Mommy got a sick shoe, bag up about 6 you. When she get that loot, I be yelling boot scoop, get away like boom, boom. You know we go. When you hear that whistle, you know we go.
All right, everyone, we are back with Mike Frush, talking about his rise to the top and everything he knows and he has in his brain about this industry and how you can join too if you'd like to. Coming off that question, though, something that an insider can know that other people can't, someone who's created videos, someone who has content out online, someone who's performed before, is the actual mechanics of it, you know? And I guess if you could change one thing about the music industry, what would that be and why that you've seen so far?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. Probably how it's pay to play. A lot of things, like back in the day, I mean, I say that as if I was around, but I imagine back in the day, you know, when you're in a rock and roll band, you take your CD up to the, you know, the radio station, you know, do the whole thing, whatever. That doesn't work now. Like it can. I'm not saying it can't. It definitely can, but it's all about your numbers these days, and it's really hard. It's really hard to get your numbers without paying some people to help you out. You know what I mean?
You are so right. Yeah, because back in the day, you're right. You just record whatever you've worked with your band or solo, you bring it, and then if somebody likes it, they invest. It's not now where you have social media and you kind of have to build this whole brand before you even start getting paid back with it. Wow.
Right. And now the music industry is so big now that someone could still hear your stuff. You know, it happens every day. Famous artists will hear something, then put this next young person on. It happens a lot, but the odds of that happening are way less because of the gap now. You know what I mean? A lot of these people who have the ability to put you on and put you out there are so untouchable. You know what I mean? Like it's so the gap is insane. You know what I mean? You're so far from them, but at the same time, sometimes it feels like you're brushing elbows with people they're brushing elbows with, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And it's almost like I was listening to a Black Keys interview on Joe Rogan's, and they were talking about how, like, yeah, streaming is super cool. It's so good for the consumer, but now for bands, it's kind of created this issue where you have somewhere to put your stuff and you almost feel like honored that you get accepted on the Spotify or iTunes and things like that. But at the same time, you're diluted in this pool of so much music, and you're not getting any of the revenue from having your things heard.
Yeah.
So I guess
that's
I
the
mean,
thing.
yeah. Go. I don't know anything.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say until your status, you're gonna be paying for your fans for a while, like, and not in the sense where you literally pay for views and stuff like that, because a lot of people stand in different places on that. I don't like that. I know a lot of famous people do it to try to look better. Maybe it works. Again, I'm not a marketing guru, but I don't know. You gotta pay the right people, the right influencers in the right place, to get the right amount of people to see your stuff. And sometimes even finding those connections are hard. But it's all about reaching out to people. Again, it's something that I've been trying to get better at myself. Just put yourself out there, because you never know who's gonna like your stuff.
Yeah. And I think there's also like the call to action, where back in the day, like, you didn't have the internet, you had the radio, you know, which you would hear something on the radio. But by the time you heard it on the radio, it was probably already getting big. Anything else you would do is just going to see local shows, which is more common because we couldn't stream anything. So I guess right now, anyone listening, all right, if you're just passively enjoying Mike Frush and my conversation, go like his stuff, you know, go give him a rating, go give him a like on YouTube, throw a comment out there. All right.
Thank you. Subscribe to the podcast.
Subscribe. Oh, thank you. No, but it's so true, because there's a lot of because we're so saturated with stimulus all the time nowadays. There's just so much passive fandom, if that makes sense.
Oh,
like
yeah.
half the songs I listen to throughout the day, I don't know the singers of them because I just shuffle on Spotify.
Yep.
And these
Yep,
poor people
absolutely.
aren't getting any of the recognition for all this hard work, you know?
That's what happens a lot of times too, because an artist will become associated with like a particular. They'll get stuck in like a particular sound or a particular rut, and then when that's not cool anymore, people don't listen to that artist anymore. Like a lot of one-hit wonder type deals. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it kind of cages you in. Yeah, you're so right.
Yeah.
Because how often too do you like? Wow.
That's why I try to say like as diverse as possible. Give people something new to listen to every time, so you never know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because if you get the same thing that an artist has put out the last 10 albums, some bands it works, other artists it doesn't. But I try to stay away from that.
Yeah, it's probably tough too. I mean, do you feel any inclination? Say you make 3 different songs and you release them out to the world, and one of them like does amazing and the other 2 don't get that many views. The style you made in that song, do you feel more inclined to operate under that because it was so successful? Because I wonder if people, like, say you get a one-hit wonder and it's like your least favorite song as a band, you know what I mean, or as a rapper, and then now everyone's expecting that style, and when they click your album it's something different, you know?
Well, I think that happens a lot more often than not, because I mean, like I said, as an artist you create and then you hate. You know what I mean? You write something and the moment you like it, and then you listen to it one too many times and it's the worst thing in the world. But I think it all depends on what your goal is. Me personally, like, I love music in general, so I'm going to be happy if I make I really love making hip hop. It's been the funnest genre to make so far.
Yeah.
Words are like a puzzle, and I just think that's sick. But if your goal is to just make music that you're passionate about and not worry about getting anywhere with it, making money off of it, do your thing. Don't worry about, the reception, the crowd reception, you know what I mean? But if you want to ever advance in the industry or, make it a career, you have to listen to what the people want, because at the end of the day, it's not about what you want. It's what the people are buying. Which sucks. But like I said, me personally, it doesn't make a difference to me what I'm making so long as I'm still creating. So I'm going to be happy with it either way. But definitely, if, say, for example, there was 3 songs and the 2 that I hated the most did the best, those 2 are going to make the album over the other one that I liked more. Which is hard for me because I'm a real prideful person and I'm very, very stubborn when it comes to my stuff. But you have to let go of that and just go with what the people think, if that's your goal. Because I don't know about anyone else, but I want to make some money.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, that's a goal with any kind of expression.
You want to make a living out of what you love, and I happen to love music, so what I mean. It just happens to be a harder industry to break.
Yeah. So how do you get through the tougher times? How when you're feeling down or you're kind of like feeling like throwing in the towel, what makes you open up or grab your iPhone notes and start typing away, or makes you go to the recording studio even though maybe you don't want to?
Because I could do anything else. You know what I mean? Anybody could do anything, but I don't want to do anything else. So there are times like at the beginning of COVID, I was like, oh man, all this extra time to be creative, I'm going to get so much done. At first it was hard to get the ball rolling. Like, you think you have all this time, but then again, it goes back to when you're feeling creative, because you can't just pump something genuine out. You know what I mean? If you want it to be genuine, you have to wait for it to come to you. Unless you're some kind of like prodigy. More power to you. But I don't know, man. The fact of the matter is I enjoy it a lot. So even when I'm having a hard time writing it, it helps everything. You know what I mean? If I'm having trouble in other areas of my life, it's therapeutic in a way.
Yeah, which is the beauty of art.
So regardless of how I'm feeling, that's always my drive to do that, because that's the one thing that, will always make me feel better. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man. And I think that's the good thing about trying to create a a career out of the arts, is that it's both even though it might give you some grief, it's also your, what's the word? It's a C word. Oh goodness. It helps you cope. There's a longer one I was looking for. I lost it.
Right.
It's also your coping mechanism through those kinds of things.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So I guess talking about emotions, did you still get performance anxiety when you're gonna go? Like, what do you
Yeah, because it's hard to adjust to a room sometime. I haven't done like when I was with the band back in the day.
Yeah.
I did a lot more shows than I've done with hip hop, just because the area, the scene, everything like that. There's not as many shows in this genre around here. But I don't know. At the end of my run with the band, I was pretty comfortable with it. It was no problem. But obviously, there's new nerves associated with doing something new.
Yeah.
I have a drink or two, some ice cold Jameson on the rocks.
Yeah.
Helps even me out a little bit. And then I get up there and I just do what I'm used to doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then before you know it, seriously, if you get into it enough, it's over before you know it. You blink and it's done. And you're like, wow, I just did a whole set. But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know, man. It's the room is everything. So like you feed off the energy in the room when you're performing. So say there's 10 kids there, they're not really vibing with you. It's going to make a difference in your performance versus if there was 150 kids in there and they were all rocking out.
Yeah.
You know,
100%. Yeah.
Energy bounces back and forth in every situation. So like that's no exception for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. No, awesome. I see that for sure too. And you keep referencing back with the band. So I guess we'll talk about, we'll bring that up now. So Mike used to be in the band Fear the Concept, which, not to cage you like Spotify, but was a metalcore band. That's what it said on Facebook. So I hope I got it right.
Better be careful. The metalheads really care about the what you label it as. So just be careful.
Okay. I'll put up to interpretation in the,
right.
in the post for it. But, so what was that process like, though, going from a metalcore group to music that isn't in the hip-hop rap genre?
It's definitely anything. I mean, I've always just been a real big music guy. I listened to all sorts of music my whole life.
Yeah.
Just really loved it. Moved to Ohio, left the whole band behind. You know what I mean? So here I am in a new place by myself. I don't have all my friends anymore. So I had to kind of adapt to something that I could do on my own. And by God's grace, I met my dude Billy, my dude Kev over here too.
Yeah.
We just it took some time. It took a lot of guidance and it took a lot of guidance and encouragement and a lot of feedback to get where I need to be. But I'm getting there. And it was cool because as a vocalist, my job in the band wasn't that great because when you're screaming, doing all that, it's just about how you sound, not what you're saying, because a lot of folks can't understand that kind of stuff anyway. And it's a lot more the band aspect. But with hip hop and pop and things like that, that's my only job. My only job is writing a story or whatever the song's about, you know what I mean? And words to me are like a puzzle. And it is so fun. Isn't it satisfying to put a puzzle together when it's finally together?
Yeah, you're piecing it all together, for sure. Do you think that learning how to write a song when you were in the other band, like if you just take away everything and it's just the skin and bones, do you think that the flow and like, I guess the arc of a song kind of stays the same? Do you think it helped you with writing?
I think metal and hip hop are very, very closely related, whether people would think so or not. Just in like the history of it and the structure, a lot of influence is drawn back and forth between both genres. But I think music in general, if you wrote any kind of music and you transitioned over to another genre, it's going to be helpful because if you can learn music in general, you can write generally any music. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Not weird or corny saying that, but it's true. So I think definitely just learn how to write a song helped me adapt to a new genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I said, a lot of the new stuff I've been working on has been more of like a pop vibe more than anything, but still, got hip hop and everything. But if you can learn to adapt, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you gotta get rid of those Spotify cages. That's the moral here.
Oh yeah.
Well, I guess then let's get into, so you create rap and with the new pop vibe. Previously,
right.
You did a lot of metalcore with your previous band, Fear the Concept. But what does Mike Frush listen to when he's driving down the road or when you're singing in the shower?
we already broke the ice with Lana Del Rey.
Yeah.
Lana Del Rey. Definitely a lot of that. I like the Doors a lot.
Oh, the Doors are good. Yeah.
There's this band called Turnover. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but I would definitely check them out.
Hell yeah, I'll write it
I
down.
like to throw on a lot of nostalgic stuff, so I will listen to a lot of old metal. I don't really like keep up with the scene these days, but I'll throw on the same shit I used to listen to in high school. Take me back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some electronic stuff like again, this nostalgic, but like Tattoo or Cascada, stuff like that. Just I don't know. It all depends on the mood again. So like I'm gonna throw on some Lana Del Rey if I feel like being edgy and sad.
Yeah.
But if I feel like rocking out, I'm gonna throw on some Cascada, and every time we touch is gonna be what I'm playing.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, I guess one last question I have for you today is when can we expect to see some merch, dude? Because I'm looking for a hat or a shirt or something.
Merch I actually have up right now. Actually, I don't know if the site's still live. I'll have to check that before this goes up. But MikeFrush.bigcartel.com. I have T-shirts, limited colors and sizes at this point. Had some hats they sold out. I have, I think, around 30 for sale. But definitely with the next release, the next time any music comes out, there's going to be merch to go with it. So definitely expect that. As far as an ETA for that new music, I can't say. But like I said, I just got back from doing a music video in Florida. So before the end of the year, we'll see new stuff.
Yeah, new stuff soon, dude. It feels like every time I ask you about something, you're like, yeah, trust me, that's there. It's happening. It's going.
See, I take my time with it because like if you rush yourself, you forget something, you skip something, then all that work was not a waste, but it didn't get the full potential that it could have. You know what I mean? Take your time with it. Reach your little goals to get you to the big one, and have fun. You know what I mean? Have fun. It's a fucking if you get to the end and forgot how you got there, what was the point? You know what I mean? If you didn't enjoy the ride.
100%, man. Yeah. I was going to ask you if you had any final words for anyone who wanted to join the industry, but I feel like you kind of just summed it up pretty well right there.
Yeah, man. Learn yourself, know yourself, never be scared to try something new. Never let someone tell you can't do something, but also be very open to criticism. I myself am the biggest one with that. Like I have a hard time not taking it, but adjusting according to the criticism. But sometimes when people are telling you something, so take that into consideration. And also, listen, if you start getting emails from people promising these big things, you might be breaking through. You might be. But a lot of times they're trying to scam you and take your money. So I'm going to tell you right now, be cautious, cover all your bases. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, dude, I love it.
Because I'll have people in my email in my inbox saying, one time, for example, I almost sent a couple $100 to go play a Rolling Loud festival down in Miami, I believe. Just some random dude. Didn't end up being legit. We called, talked to him on the phone, felt him out. Just a bullshitter. So just be careful because a lot of people they'll see a big opportunity and it'll flash in their face and they don't look at who's presenting the opportunity and if they're legitimate, and then you lose out. And as an artist, things cost so much as it is, you can't afford to lose out on money like that.
Yeah,
unless you got it like that. Send everyone some money.
Man, that sucks. I feel like it seems like scam artists always target the most vulnerable populations. People who are trying to do something good.
If there's money to be made, someone out there is going to try to make it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's true. Different kind of grind.
don't hate the player, hate the game, but also protect your neck. Look out for yourself.
I love it, man. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming here.
It was an honor. It took a while for me to get to this point to get on this podcast, but we made it.
Yeah. COVID pushed things back a bit, but no, dude, I'm happy to have you. I'm sure plenty of people are gonna gain a lot from hearing you talk and hearing your experience in the industry.
I just want to say real quick, shout out to Free Money Kai, shout out to B-Rush, shout out to Coda Band, shout out to Nisi, shout out to Big and Lil Niece, shout out to Bucci Baby, shout out to Starletta Music, shout out to Jason Ebanks, Andy Oceans, Brandon McManus, Prince, Stella, and Walt Disney is dead.
Awesome, man. There we go. Drop real quick too. Anything that people can find you on. So YouTube handles, Instagram.
YouTube, it's just Mike Frush. You're gonna find my personal page and my music page. Go ahead and subscribe to both because some good stuff on both of them. Instagram at Just Frush, Twitter at Just Frush, JUSTFRUSH. Spotify Mike Frush, Apple Music Mike Frush. I don't think I'm on anything else. Facebook Mike Frush if you want to find me. I'm kind of a meme king. Don't let anyone fool you.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll throw some the links in the bio for this as well, so you can find them there. But
thank you.
Thank you so much, man. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Hey, it was great being on, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. Have a good one.
You too, brother.
Bye.
I'm running away from the light, I don't need it. It's safe in the dark, it's just me and my demons. My word is my bond, so you better believe it. So close to the top, I can see it. Transition to living from dreaming. I wanna live fast, I wanna go far, I wanna do all the drugs, and you know I want cars. I've been at it so long, I done worked so hard. I know I got the gas, all I need is a spark. Remember the trap in Orlando, I know it was far from a bando, but we burned the wax like a candle, and we served the grandmother. Damn, who was thirstier than a whole pack of them camels. And the thing changed, it's a new state. I got a new whip in a new place. I guess I grew too, I learned a few things. I got some new rules in a new game.
All right, and that concludes episode 11 of A Wild Tomorrow, the podcast. I hope you all enjoyed hearing Mike as much as I enjoyed recording with him. And go ahead and follow him, like his stuff on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, all the places you can find Mike. You can also find A Wild Tomorrow. If you liked this episode, go ahead and give us a like or a review. It's always appreciated. And if you know somebody that you think would be good for the podcast, please reach out to us at awildtomorrow.org. Send us their information, and if you have a small business or a venture of your own that you're interested in marketing, please contact us about getting a commercial slot or a shout out on our social media page. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you all have a wild tomorrow.
So you better believe it. So close to the top, I can see it. Transition to living from dreaming.